Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to L0sing. Hope you are good. I am sure some of you may have seen videos of Jimmy flying around. He's been fired, more like. And I am not sure he said it. He didn't say anything wrong, though. And I want you to know that your First Amendment rights are under assault on a very serious note. But then, some people, you can have opinion, and the other people, you cannot have opinion. But one thing I want you all to know is that Jimmy will actually be fine because he's a white man, right? I want to take you back a little bit to when something like this happened to Joy Reid, MSNBC, right? Joy Reid was fired last year, if I am not mistaken. Last year or early this year, I can't remember, but I still remember what happened to Joy Reid, right? What happened? Joy Reid is standing strong today, and she is doing amazingly great, and her voice is no longer shaking. If only you have noticed that. She is very vocal. She says whatever she wants to say because she has a platform, her own platform now, right? So the same people that said that this Charlie has the right to say whatever he wants to say, or whatever he had to say about people that look like me. But as it is today, you cannot say anything about that man. I want you to be very careful. My people, they are doxing people, and some people are losing their job. I really do want it to be said. Let's get into this video.
So if you did not think we're in the bad place now, we actually are. Jimmy Kimmel Live has been pulled indefinitely after he made comments about Charlie Kirk's death. No, this is not a hiatus. It's been pulled indefinitely. We don't know if it's ever going to be coming back. This is just hours after the chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr, you can see the face right here so you can put a name to it, essentially warned ABC over his comments. Now, if Nexstar sounds familiar, they just bought the CW and they're reworking all their stuff to make it the Christian network. And they apparently have a lot of pull. They have over 200 stations that aired the show nationwide. And unfortunately, this will not be the last time something like this happens. We are going to see a lot of people who are vocal be silenced, whether it's their talk show, their TV show, their movie. We just saw it happen with Stephen Colbert. And I know they're kissing the ring right now, but I feel like SNL might be next on the chopping block. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard for a lot of us who are affected by these policies and by this hate to even do our jobs. And this is only going to get worse.
So in order to understand the Jimmy Kimmel situation, you need to understand how television works, particularly local television. In your hometown, you probably have an ABC station, an NBC station, a CBS station, a Fox station. Now, unless you live in big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, these stations are affiliate stations. That means they're owned by a company that's not ABC, NBC, CBS, etc., but either a company that owns 2 or 3 stations or by a station group, like Sinclair Broadcasting, Tegna, Nexstar. Then there are what's called O&Os, which are owned and operated stations. For example, the ABC station in New York is owned and operated by ABC News. Same thing with ABC7 in Los Angeles, it's owned by ABC News Disney. It is rare these days that a station will be owned by a small company. That's because around 10, 15 years ago, station groups, namely Sinclair, started buying up a bunch of local stations all around the country. NBC affiliates, ABC affiliates, it didn't matter. And particularly they focused on small and mid-sized markets. Now this was a strategic move because if you own what the majority of the country, these small local news stations that people in these small towns still watch, then you get to influence what they see. And Sinclair is conservative. It's evident in their content. Now, I used to work for Sinclair back in the day after they bought the station that I was working at. And they used to have these things called must runs, which means no matter where in the country, if you're a Sinclair station, you must put these specific stories in your rundown, aka the news of the day that you're broadcasting. And that's when late night talk shows started making fun of the fact that anchors around the country were saying verbatim the same thing.
Of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
Now, this is important because affiliates make a deal with the network that they will broadcast their programming in their market and in exchange for example, content. So like ABC News will give ABC affiliates access to their video, and affiliates will give ABC News access to their video. So it's a matter of sharing the resources. So what happened with Jimmy Kimmel is 2 of the nation's biggest broadcast groups, Nexstar and Sinclair, basically told ABC, we're not gonna show Jimmy Kimmel in our markets, and they got a bunch of markets, if you don't rectify the situation. And I should mention that right now, currently, Nexstar is trying to buy one of the other big station groups, Tegna, which owns stations in Dallas and Atlanta, which now are getting into top 10 big city markets. So you see, in a time where viewership is declining, ABC can't really afford to piss off two of the big broadcast groups. Now, if that deal goes through, that means Nexstar will own 265 stations in 44 states and DC, which also Sinclair has a station in DC, the ABC station. That represents 80% of US households. Right now, Nexstar owns 32 ABC stations. Now, both Nexstar and Sinclair have been trying to proposition the FCC to relax regulations on the number of stations they can buy, because if it's up to them, they would buy more. And local news is some of the cheapest programming to produce. So if a station doesn't want to buy a syndicated show, they just throw on another local news show, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And when budgets are being slashed and in small towns where they just can't produce that much content, you get this much local news and then it is packed with something that comes from the headquarters. Anyways, I just wanted to add context.
So it seems like free speech is a thing of the past. Jimmy Kimmel was just fired and let go indefinitely by ABC for apparently the remarks he made about the Charlie Kirk death last week. You may be asking yourself, what could he have said that's so bad?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
We are witnessing the policing of everyday actions in this country. It's been happening way before this Charlie Kirk shooting happened. This government has been moving towards a totalitarianism fascist state where Donald Trump has broken every law since he got into office. The law doesn't matter. The Constitution doesn't matter. Things don't matter. But this seems to have been the foot on the gas, or like the gasoline to throw in the fire to push us into the next and final phase of us not being able to say what's on our minds, us not being able to question what's happening, and a comedian who late night TV talk show, all they do is make jokes about political things that are happening and what's happening in the country. And now he's fired for that. They're firing people from their nursing position, doctor position, accounting firms, all these things because people are sharing an opinion about a podcaster who wasn't a leader, wasn't voted for, wasn't revered by all. And we think this is okay? It's getting fucking scary. I feel like people are experiencing a mass religious psychosis, and it's starting to make me feel crazy because I'm like, maybe everyone's seeing something that I'm not seeing, and no one in my close life is saying, like, what? Maybe I'm the crazy one. Because what really is fucking going on? You know what I mean? What really is going on?
Jimmy Kimmel getting fired from ABC or Disney is wild to me, right? I saw that he got fired over a Charlie Kirk joke that he made in his monologue. So I'm thinking, oh my God, like, what joke did he make? Guys, come on, that was probably bad. Probably pretty bad joke. So I go and I listen to it. And it wasn't a joke about Charlie Kirk at all. It was an observance of how Trump is grieving the death of Charlie Kirk, right? And so they showed a clip of someone in the press asking Trump, how have you been holding up since Charlie Kirk? And Trump's answer, undoctored, is, I think I've been holding up pretty well. You guys see those trucks over there? They're building the ballroom. That was it. It was him criticizing the way Trump is grieving his friend. Again, hasn't attended anything, has gone golfing, couldn't say more than a sentence about how he's doing, and then went and talked about his ballroom. That was what Jimmy Kimmel was fired over. It's weird the right, who's free speech, free speech, never known hate speech in their life, is suddenly getting people fired from their jobs and shows canceled. So again, I guess I should even say that. A political side who doesn't believe in cancel culture either. We're fucked.
You're about to see, over the next 7 days, you're about to see, or less than 7 days, a bunch of outpour of some crazy shit. If it feels like things are getting scary, things are increasing in aggression, if it feels like things are increasing in anger, that's what I was trying to tell y'all the other day when I said that Mercury and her homegirls was outside and they throwing hands. Okay, so the real deal Holyfield, let me tell you. It's no secret that this country was founded on spirituality, right? Okay, bet. So you know that they be casting spells and shit like that. It's known that it's a good possibility that CERN is also trying to fix the timelines. Because they're looking forward, and they're seeing that the possibility of them coming back out on top is slim to none. It's almost non-existent. So of course they're trying to mess with the timelines. I say that to say we're in a portal right now. So seeing Jimmy Kimmel get canceled, everybody being scared right now, and then Jimmy Kimmel being pulled indefinitely due to the offensive comments of Charlie Kirk. Nobody is exempt. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are in the middle of a fucking portal. Nobody is exempt. A lot of weird, crazy stuff is going to be happening. You need to keep your vibrations high right now. Do not freak out. Everything that they're doing, they're twisting, turning, contouring, can be undone. Everything that they're doing can be undone. I'm going to say it one more time. Everything that they're doing can be undone. It's quite literally an act to get you stirred up, scared, frustrated, so that you think about the future, and the future that you envision is a fucked up future. Think about the future that you want to see, the positive future, full of change, happiness, growth, everything that we've wanted. Do not let these people scare you. They are not scary. Do not let them scare you. Okay? You should be doing exactly what black women are doing right now, sitting at home and saying, and moving on with your day. That's it. That's all. I'm sorry to that man, but Jimmy Kimmel gonna be all right, because even Jimmy Kimmel knows that what they're doing can be undone. Long story short.
I'm a little confused here. This same Republican Party that was so anti-cancel culture, so anti-Me Too movement, so anti all of those different things, is now the party that wants to strip us of our First Amendment rights if we say anything disparaging against Charlie Kirk. Help me understand that one. They're now canceling Jimmy Kimmel's show for allegedly making disparaging remarks against Charlie Kirk. I watched the video, and folks, I am perplexed. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the sitting president of the United States, before they even knew who the shooter was already coming out inciting violence by saying that it was a radical leftist. Now that information has come out, that's not even the case. And all Jimmy Kimmel was doing was disabusing Donald Trump of his own notion. And y'all cancel his show? And it doesn't help the fact that the head of the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, just recently came out and said that they will use the full weight of the DOJ to go after those that speak ill of Charlie Kirk. She had to come back and clean it up because she realized how that sounded. But folks, the truth is already out there. Our First Amendment rights are fundamentally under full-blown assault by this administration, and this is complete madness.
Jimmy Kimmel has been suspended by ABC because apparently the head of the FCC did not like his comments regarding Charlie Kirk. Apparently, They love Charlie Kirk, worship Charlie. But when you quote Charlie, that's too far. That's too much. No. We love Charlie. We worship the man. But do not quote him. Because that's vile. It's vile. It's unacceptable. But we love Charlie. We love Charlie. Charlie, we worship Charlie. If you quote Charlie, I swear to God, you're going to lose your job. You're going to be canceled. You're going to lose your job. But we love Charlie. You also had Stephen Colbert canceled despite having the highest ratings for late night. Why? Because of a long-standing, complicated lawsuit filed by the whiner-in-chief himself. And as part of moving forward from that agreement that they had with Paramount, Colbert had to go. This man who's in the White House is directly threatening our First Amendment rights. You can no longer say what you want to say, or you could be fired, you could be canceled. And I find it extremely fascinating, the level of hypocrisy, when those on the right say that those on the left are the ones responsible for cancel culture. Oh, we can't take the cancel culture. Oh, no. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? I mean, if this is who you are, fine, but own it. Just own the fact you're a snowflake. Own the fact that you don't believe in the Constitution, the First Amendment. Own it. Just own it. Just say, oh, my feelings get hurt easily. We'll respect you. We'll move on. But until then, I think a boycott is in order.
Jimmy Kimmel has just been pulled off the air. And I just never seen anything like this.
ABC. We know one of them, Nexstar, which has about 24 stations with the ABC logo and all the ABC programming. Nexstar publicly announced that they were going to drop Kimmel's show indefinitely. Within a matter of minutes, we heard from Disney that the show was being pulled altogether. That suggests to me that other station owners were probably also getting scared. Other station owners were probably also coming up with backup plans not to air Kimmel's show. But even though we're talking about comedy, this is so serious, Aaron. Yeah. America is a less free place if late night comedians cannot do and say what they want. Of course, they can be tuned out. People can change the channel. That's how we vote. That's how we have our say in America. Right. But this really does have a chilling effect across the American media. And it's not just me saying it. We've heard from the group FIRE in the past few minutes, the free speech group FIRE, saying, quote, the government pressured ABC and ABC caved. Wow. Quote, we cannot be a country where late night talk show hosts serve at the pleasure of the president, but until institutions grow a backbone and learn to resist government pressure, that is the country we are. And just one more note, Aaron, I've heard from Brendan Carr in the past few minutes. He's very pleased about Nexstar deciding to preempt the show. He has not officially reacted to ABC's decision yet. But when I told him about ABC's decision to go ahead and basically, this is a cancellation unless the show ever comes back, he did send me a GIF. He sent me a celebratory meme as his reaction, Aaron.
What a shame. All this is happening while Trump is out of the country. Kash Patel is testifying in front of Congress, and folks are losing their jobs left and right. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at the state of affairs here in the United States of America. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? We live in a country now where you can't even criticize the government. You know, Trump supporters, and it's a saying I've been saying for a long time. Be careful. Same thing that makes you laugh can make you cry.
I'm not going to give these people the satisfaction of coming onto this app hooting and hollering about the Jimmy Kimmel situation. That's what they want us to do. They want us to resort to violence and anger and get up on this app and start hooting and hollering. I'm not going to feed into that. I'm not subscribing to that right now. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're right or left. There is a censoring. We are no longer living in a democracy. What happens to freedom of speech? So freedom of speech only applies to people who agree with everything Donald Trump has to say. What did Jimmy Kimmel say that was disrespectful or untrue. What did Jimmy Kimmel ever say that could even compare to disgustingly vile things I've heard coming from media sources like Fox News? Those are the shows that we should be canceling. Those are the shows that condone racism, they condone bullying, they condone misogyny. Mind you, this is only the beginning. This is still the first year of his presidency. You guys need to wake the fuck up, like, for real.
Dictatorship is at our doorstep. There's no denying it anymore. The party of free speech is now targeting people whose speech disagrees with them, getting them fired. I just saw ABC cancel the Jimmy Kimmel live show. But just a few days ago, I did a video showing the clip of someone on the news calling for homeless people to be put to death by involuntary lethal injection. And nothing happened to him because of his rhetoric. But because someone spoke out against someone whose dangerous rhetoric they disagreed with, they now lose their show. Dictatorship is at our doorstep, and freedom of speech finds itself under attack yet again. Yet again. And democracy is not a passive process. It's not something that'll be self-sustained. If they continue to erode our democratic processes, erode the things that make us a democracy, erode the rights that we all have, or at least should have, in this republic, what's to stop them from finding different rights that they don't agree with and removing them, stripping them from the people? Freedom of speech is under attack right now. We're watching it happen in real time. We're watching it happen in real time. And they're using this incident as a justification to silence people's voices. The party that was so against canceling, so against repercussions, when those repercussions were in response to someone being racist or sexist or misogynistic. They were against that, but now they can use this moment to cancel those who they feel are their opponents. Now they can use this moment to cancel those and silence the voices that they feel are speaking out against them. Man.
So let me get this straight. Jimmy Kimmel is being suspended indefinitely for comments that he made, right? In other words, you could say that Jimmy Kimmel is being suspended indefinitely for exercising his First Amendment right of freedom of speech. He is being persecuted by the powers that be for just speaking and having a difference of opinion. But I've been told for many, many years, and especially very recently, that I shouldn't be upset with when someone displays a difference of opinion, because they're just exercising their freedom of speech. So make it make sense. Which is it? Can you use your freedom of speech, or can you only use your freedom of speech if it suits a certain narrative? Can you express certain differences of opinion, but only if it supports a certain narrative? Make it make sense.
Comfort and prosperity can be dangerous sometimes. That's why gluttony is a sin. When you took your first breath of life, were you this version of yourself? No, you were not. Mentally, physically, spiritually, you were this infant form, right? And you were cared for, and you were nurtured, and you were able to grow and grow and grow, right? And even though you went through some hard times and some good times, sometimes where you couldn't grow as much, sometimes where you could grow exponentially, right? You were cared for, you were nurtured, and you grew and you grew and you grew. So much so to where now you're so large and grown to where now you can grow your goddamn self. You don't need any help. Now you're the version you are now, right? That's how it starts. Just because people aren't getting snatched off the street and thrown into jail cells for using their freedom of speech doesn't mean that we're still a free country. The comfort and prosperity we're so used to is what's causing us to sleepwalk into this shit. I love that you have a comfortable life. I love that you have money in your bank account. Your bills are paid. I love that. That's great. Not everybody has that. And we're all collectively losing something as simple as the freedom of speech. The Second Amendment right depends on man-made things. The right to bear arms. Those arms are man-made. The First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech. Whatever religion you honor, right? Your God-given speech, whoever your creator is, like, right? No man gave you speech, right? But now they want to control it. Wake up. There are other countries looking at us going, what the fuck? They're sleepwalking into this shit because we are. When they said, fuck Joe Biden, fake election, fake president in 2022, who lost their jobs? When they called Kamala and Joe Marxist, communist, fascist, all these things they said from 2020 to 2024, who paid for using their freedom of speech, right? We condemn hate speech. We condemn violence, right? Jimmy Kimmel and the Jimmy Kimmel Live show canceled indefinitely. That is the attack on freedom of speech. That is baby fascism. That is sleepwalking into some shit, right? Because we have absorbed, I don't know how much freedom of speech from the other side that's allowed. But then when we don't give the ultimate sympathies for a citizen, they're calling for mass loss of employment, not knowing that mass employment affects everybody else too. So then in their world where every Democrat and liberal loses their job, you're going to have half of America unemployed and they think they're not going to feel that? What is y'all's goal? You can indirectly suffer from other people's suffering if you didn't know. Like, what are we doing here? Is it just because our freedom of speech is costing some people loss of employment that we just go, oh my God, that's crazy? Does it have to be loss of life? Does it have to be loss of freedom? That man did not deserve to die that way. Nobody deserves to die that way. Political disagreements should never result in violence. Any sane civil human being understands that. But we don't have to ignore all the evidence and shit like that. Why do they get to mock George Floyd to this day? Why do they get to take pictures in front of Alligator Alcatraz? Why does the leader of the country get to say, oh, I'm going to teach the immigrants to run in an S like this so it's more likely that they survive the alligators that are chasing them? A judge said that Alligator Alcatraz was so inhumane that the people there had to be evacuated. They had to take it down. And there were people taking pictures in front of the sign, right? All of that has to be allowed. That's fine. This Fox News supporter said involuntary lethal injections just kill them. And then we have a homeless person hanging from a tree and a mass shooting at a homeless encampment. And Fox News did nothing. He's still employed. He literally said, just kill him. And then people went outside and did it. And he's employed. That's the baby fascism. Wake up. He can call for violence, and when it actually happens, that's fine. They can say, fuck Melissa Hortman right now, and nothing will happen to them. But a journalist at the Washington Post said no words of her own, posted a quote directly from that man, and lost her job. When tragedies happen, they'll say, oh, think about the kids. And then when somebody uses their freedom of speech and it's not in line with their ideology or their mindset, they go for their job as if that person might not have kids that rely on them and their parent having that fucking paycheck. It's not, oh, I feel bad for the kids then. Where's the division coming from? Why do we have to hate each other? What the fuck? Dude, what is that? What is that? Like, are y'all not seeing this? This is baby North Korea. What is this? Nobody's calling for violence. The person that actually did, nothing has happened to him. And the people that aren't are taking the blow? How many tragedies, dude? We want to talk about the innocence of the kids? Has anybody on the right talked about Melissa Hortman's dog? Children have the potential to grow up and be awful things or great things, right? It's a variable. Y'all have nothing to say for something as innocent as a dog, a golden retriever, right? They can say, fuck Melissa Hortman in that whole situation right now. And something as innocent as a fucking dog that guy also shot. They just asked the leader of the country about it. He says, I don't remember that. That's y'all's freedom of speech? I have to yell because are we not seeing this? There's still a lot of hee hee ha ha. I got on TikTok with comedic intentions, bunch of skits. Now I'm on here begging y'all to wake up. You should not have to worry about the continuation of your blessed life for the words that you speak unless you are calling for hatred and violence towards another. Then we have an issue with your words. But as long as it's not that, you don't have to praise something you would never agree with and then fear for the continuation of the prosperity and the blessings in your life. That's crazy, right? The Second Amendment right is man-made. The right to bear arms, them arms are man-made. Ain't no man gave us speech. And not only are they trying to take that from us, speech, they are excusing everything else. It is getting loved for, it is getting nurtured, it is growing. And before you know it, it won't need any help. It's going to be able to grow on its own. The First Amendment matters.
Y'all cheering now that they're coming after that first one. Oh, y'all happy as you can be. Say anything about Charlie Kirk and you're going to lose your job. Say anything about Charlie Kirk and you're going to be put out of the army. Say anything about Charlie Kirk and you're going to be doxxed. Y'all cheering that they coming after that first one, right? Oh, y'all gone ho. Yeah, cheering it on, right? But wait till they come after that second one. See how much cheering y'all gonna be doing then. So keep on giving them the power they need to take your rights one by one. You're cheering it now because it's falling on your side. Because it's your guy that they're snatching the first one away from in honor of. Oh, but when they come after that second one, and you can't say nothing because you cheered the first one being taken, so you've already gave them the okay to go after all.
And this is all I got from this video. And I think this will be going to my people more. I understand that your First Amendment is like in Kimmel. I said this the first day, this particular thing, that when the day this man unalive, I said that this is actually an avenue for these people to come in and show how crazy they are. And it's actually playing out. People are losing. They are okay now. They created a website where they dox people. So many people have lost their jobs. Teachers, doctor, nurses, a lot. But then let me tell you something, right? If you ever lose your job because you had an opinion over what happened to this man, I want you to know that the organization you work for, right, is actually ready to desist, and it's okay to go somewhere else. And I am praying that whoever that is affected, people that are affected, are able to have some, like, get something better tomorrow, right? Then Jimmy is actually going to be fine. On a very serious note, why did I say that? I said that because he is a white man, right? And something like this has happened to Joy Reid. Remember MSNBC, right? It happened to Joy Reid, and Joy Reid is doing greatly well, and her voice is actually unstoppable at this point in time. You saw the video I brought here some days ago where she was asking why they are mad. Her voice is no longer shaky. She can say whatever she wants because she has her own platform. Sometimes some certain things happen for your steps to be reordered, right? So I hope Jimmy, in fact, Jimmy will be fine. He will be fine. He's a white man. He will be fine. But then, let me tell us something. You see this administration, when I told you people from the onset that they are very chaos, I knew what I said, and I still stand by it, right? So they were telling people that look like me that it is okay for that, they were very proud to tell us that, is it because, and somebody has the audacity even to tell me, is it because he had an opinion? Yes. Excuse me. He had an opinion, and his opinion got him somewhere. So the same opinion that they told us, or they told black people that because somebody had his opinion and you went to unalive him, right? So they do not also want you to have the opinion. So there are, as it is now, there are people that are supposed to have opinion in the United States. That is, white people are the only people. Or if you are MAGA, if you are Republican, MAGA, conservative, black, or anything, okay, black people, I pity you, especially the ones that are conservative. I don't pity my own people. The 98% and 20%, because they are standing on the solid ground. I pity black conservative because there is this adage my mom used to tell me: when you follow chicken to enter the rain, or if a lizard, okay, let me use it, if a lizard follows rat, if a rat follows lizard to enter the rain, there is nothing that will happen to the lizard, because the lizard's skin is no fur and all that. But the rat, it is finished for him. So the black conservatives, some of them, especially the ones that are at the top, can actually get away free. But there are some people that will not get away free. You all think you are doing me, or you are doing other black people. You are not doing them. You are doing yourself. All skin folks are not kin folks. Your community is something. Go and join them. Black people do not care. Join them. Even if look for a way to change your skin too. So we know the people that are for black people and people that are. I pity them so bad. The same people that are trying to take away your First Amendment listing. I hope you know that somebody went on live, a white man and a black man, conservative. I will bring that video here, right? Saying that if you are homeless, that you should be on live television, on live. But they are moving freely. Their show is still up and running. But people that look like me cannot say anything. And also, one of them said something. He didn't even say anything bad. But see, I am not speaking for white people. On a very serious note, this is me also telling my people to please do your thing. When I say do your thing, please be very vigilant, right? Be very, very vigilant, especially, that job, you need to keep it. On a very serious note, you need that job for so many things, except you know that you don't want to work anymore. But aside from that, please be very vigilant. My tripod is about to fall, but then I am going to draw the curtain here. Bye for now.